Welcome to our 2023 Hatboro-Horsham High School Athletic Wall of Fame ceremony. My name is Dennis Williams. I'm the principal here at the high school. I hope that by now you had the chance to interact a little bit with this year's inductees, to reminisce a little bit about the days of old, catch up with how people have progressed since their days here at HH. For those of you that are unaware, I'm also an HH graduate, class of 1993, part of a team that was inducted into this Wall of Fame as well, and I love the opportunity to celebrate the history of athletics as a former grad. We're excited to have you here this evening to celebrate 7 athletes, coach, and 2 teams that will be inducted this evening. Until 2008, there was never really a forum for celebrating student athletes for their work on our fields, courts, our track, and also students at HH, nor was there an opportunity to recognize coaches for their commitment to their athletes and dedication to our school and to programs. As a result, former athletic director Mr. James and I were able to create the HH Athletic Wall of Fame. This allows us to recognize and credit those student athletes, coaches, teams, and supporters who, through their accomplishments, have brought great pride and distinction to our athletic programs. To date, 66 individuals, a number of teams and coaches have been inducted. This evening, we will add more to this prestigious group of former Hatters. In 2020, 2021, we dealt with a small issue. The country kind of dealt with it. Pandemic shut everything down for a little bit. So we were unable to have our 2021 ceremony. So the last time that we've gotten together to do this was 2019. So we're excited about this evening and the opportunity for us to induct 2 classes worth of people this evening. The Wall of Fame committee is made up of current and former teachers, athletes, and coaches. The members of the committee receive nominations, and then they're responsible for assisting us in researching the qualifications of the candidates and ultimately voting to determine the induction class for that particular year. We have a few members here with us this evening, and I would ask that you please just stand and wave so that people can see you, and thank you for your time and opportunity. Members of the committee, if you wouldn't mind waving, standing. Thank you. Before we begin, I'd like to give special thanks to a couple people whose hard work and dedication, without their hard work and dedication, this event would not be possible. This is the largest event that we have had. Traditionally, when we do a Wall of Fame ceremony, we're somewhere around 60, 70 people. There are 140 plus here this evening. And that wouldn't be possible. The decorations, the food, the conversation that you had, the contact and communication, without a couple special people. Our athletic director over here, Mr. Chaz Cathers. And my rock star group, who's trying to hide back here. Come on, step on out. Meredith Weiss, Kim Miller, and Denise Mykrantz, who helped put this entire thing together. Without them, none of this would be possible. Hopefully you had a chance to see the Wall of Fame lobby area when you walked in. That area now includes the names of tonight's inductees. All inductees will get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that has been playing this evening. Should anybody else want a copy, we will have some available for sale. We'll now begin our program for this evening. I hope that you, again, in looking at the slide presentation, provided you a little bit of insight into who our inductees are, what they meant to Hatboro-Horsham High School and our athletic programs. I'll now welcome our inductees into the Athletic Wall of Fame for their accomplishments during their time and era in athletics at our high school. Our inductees will accept their recognition plaque. We've asked them to share with us a few fond memories or words of wisdom based on their time here at HH as a member of a team, multiple teams, or as a coach, and the impact that HH had on them, even post-high school. For our teams being inducted tonight, the head coach will receive the plaque. Inductees, please feel free to reference parents, coaches, teammates, special memories, and life lessons learned during your acceptance speech. Without any further ado, let us begin the recognition portion of the ceremony. I'm going to call our first tradition. We will go in order based on graduation year, but I'm going to jump out of order at least for our first one because we do have some individuals who are here to support who have to get to a basketball game. Our girls are playing Abington tonight in Abington, and we want to make sure that his team is here to support and recognize him. So we're actually going to begin with George Kip Emick. George Emick, known by almost everyone as Kip, was a member of the class of 1984. He was a standout swimmer here at HH. At the time of his graduation, he was the 100-meter backstroke school record holder and was part of teams that held 2 high school records, the 200 free relay and the 400 free relay. He was also an all-Bucksmont swimmer, so as a student athlete, he helped put HH on the map. However, where Kip has truly left his mark on this district and our athletic programs is as the coach of the Hatter swim teams. He took over as a head coach in 1991. His dedication and commitment to the program is unparalleled, and he's respected across the state for the product that he puts in the pool year after year. During his coaching career, he has had well over 300 wins, a feat he accomplished in February of 2021 during COVID. He's had countless swimmers win conference, district, and state championships under his watch as individuals and also relay teams. However, last year, Coach Emick and the 2022 girls team received the ultimate prize of winning the PIAA state championship, the first swim championship in our school's history. And they did it by a landslide. Last year, Coach Emick was named the Pennsylvania Swim Coach of the Year. In 2011, Kip was inducted into the Suburban Aquatic League Coaches Hall of Fame as well, so it's only fitting that he now join the Athletic Wall of Fame at his alma mater. Please join me in congratulating George Kip Emick, class of 1984.
Thank you. Just want to thank Hatboro-Horsham. I mean, I've been a Hatter since second grade, back in the 70s, and it's been a lot of pride. It's a lot of pride in being able to teach here, being able to coach here, and being an alumni of this school district. So it's very special to me, so thank you very much, and thanks to everyone who made this possible. I heard Dennis say, just think of some memories that you can bring up, and right off the top of my head, it's not the titles or the championships. Some of my fondest memories are just finding a swimmer who has the best time at the end of the year. I recall one swimmer specifically, 4 years dedication, trying to break 30 seconds in a 50 freestyle, and achieving that her senior year in her last swim meet that she ever swam. And that's one of my best memories I've ever had. It's ironic, but I think that's the importance of coaching athletes, coaching young ladies and young men, and just having them achieve goals. And that's really what I've always strived to do. So I just want to thank everyone once again. Thank my wife, because without my wife, this would not happen. I thank my children. There was a time when my daughter was going to be do gymnastics, and I thought that my swimming career was about to be ended. And I was okay with that. And then she decided to hop into the pool and swim. And while she was swimming, my 4-year-old son, Luke, jumped right on top of her and basically started swimming at that time too. So it made my life a little bit easier having my family with me. So my mother has been a big part of this. Mother and father started our aquatic association league and kind of, put Hatboro-Horsham on the map. So thanks, Mom. And my sister was a swimmer. And, without Amanda's been with me for 20-some years now. Andy's been with me almost 20 years. My assistant coaches have just been amazing. Carolyn Lyons is here tonight also, and I just wanted to thank everybody that's made this possible. So, Dennis, thank you.
Next, class of 1963, Mr. John Mignon. John was a 1963 graduate of Hatboro-Horsham High School and was the proverbial do-it-all player, an all-around athlete. He was a 3-year starter at quarterback, a 2-year starter at defensive back, and was also the punter. He was the team's captain and received all Bucksmont recognition every year that he was a starter. In 1961, he was the all Bucksmont honorable mention selection. In 1962, he was first team all Bucksmont, while also being named the CBS Sports Radio Player of the Week. In 1963, his senior year, he was the MVP of the team. He was first team all Bucksmont and the Bucksmont Player of the Year. Many don't realize that he also ran track. And in his day, he had the fastest 220 in Bucksmont League. He qualified for the Penn Relays. John had numerous scholarship offers and ultimately received a scholarship to Virginia Tech. John Mignon passed away in 2016 at the age of 70. He is being inducted posthumously. Here to accept the award on behalf of his father, please join me in welcoming Mr. Craig Mignon.
Thank you, Dennis. I have to say something to Dennis. I haven't had a grown man make me cry since my dad passed, and then he, made that phone call to me and telling me, like, hey, we're inducting your dad. And I'm like, Dennis, you got to give me a minute. So I was crying there for a while, and I'm like, all right, Dennis, finish what you're going to say, and I appreciate that phone call. Trust me. I want to thank the committee. It's a long time coming, trust me. I'm so happy that he made it. And my dad was a humble man. You never knew he was an athlete. Never, trust me, unless you knew, you know what I mean? And as Dennis said, he had 15 scholarships in 1963 and chose Virginia Tech for football. And I'm thinking, like, how did Virginia Tech find this man in Hatboro, right? Like, it wasn't this, right? It was that little school by the Y in town, right? No social media, there was no YouTube or Instagram. How did they find him? So that man obviously made a splash back in the 60s, and I'll tell you, I could be more proud. And I'll leave you with this. So, my dad always had a saying. He used to say it to me, and I actually say it to my kids all the time. And he's like, what's the name on your back? Don't ever forget what the name is on your back. And if you're an athlete, you know what that means, right? And if you're not an athlete, I'll tell you what it means. If you're an athlete, a lot of times your jerseys have your name on the back, but it's more than that, right? You're representing your family, your tradition. The Mignon name, it's grit, toughness. It always was. And I'm more proud today. It's like there's burn marks on my back with Mignon on it right now. I'm so happy. So I just want to thank Hatboro-Horsham for making this day possible. And Dennis, thank you very much.
Our next inductee, 1972 graduate, Alan Rachi. It is very hard to discuss football of the late 60s and 70s in Montgomery and Bucks County and not hear the name Rachi come up. His older brother Dan was inducted in the 2011 class. This evening we recognize Alan. Alan is considered one of the best running backs in Hatboro-Horsham history and one of the best running backs in the area. He's one of the top all-around athletes to ever come out of HH. He was a football team captain, Maxwell Club Award winner as a junior. He won the Daily Intelligencer Bucksmont scoring title in 1970 with 19 touchdowns and 130 points. He was an all-Bucksmont first team selection in 1969. He was an all-Bucksmont first team selection in 1970. He was an all-Bucksmont first team selection in 1971. In 70 and 71, he led the team to back-to-back Bucksmont championships. He was also an all-state selection in 71 and was named to the Associated Press All-State team and the Blue Cross All-Scholastic team. He held the high school rushing record for 20 years after graduation, until it was broken in 1992. His baseball accomplishments often get overlooked, but he was an unbelievable baseball player, team captain, and was all Bucksmont in 71 and 72. Upon graduation, Allen had over 50 college scholarship offers and eventually decided to accept a baseball scholarship to Temple University, where he is still listed in their record books for career batting average, on-base percentage. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the class of 1972, Mr. Alan Rachi.
I'd like to thank the committee for this honor. I see a lot of my friends sitting here. You guys all look the same. I'd like to thank my wife. She's only been with me for 53 years. My family's back there. I love them much. And I appreciate everybody sharing the time tonight with me. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you very much.
As Alan walks away, I wanted to very quickly read something from Coach Rogers Frazinet, who is also in our Hall of Fame for his role as a coach on, I believe it was the 70-71 team. He says, "I regret that I cannot be with you to witness the induction of Alan Rachi into the Hatboro-Horsham Hall of Fame. Alan was one of the best running backs I had the pleasure of coaching in my 39 years as head coach. He was durable, was able to find a spot to break through, and was tough on tacklers. He made many miss because of his uncanny ability to make the appropriate cut. Alan was a team player and was thankful to his teammates. He didn't read about his praises in the newspaper. In fact, he didn't read write-ups of the games until the season was over. The head coach of North Penn High School stated, "It looked as though nothing was happening, and then Hatboro crossed the line and scored again. Alan was by far the best back that I ever coached." That was the quote from the North Penn, or coached against. That was a quote from the North Penn head football coach. Coach Frazinet says, "Not being with you for the induction and not seeing many of the players present that made my 8 years at HH most rewarding, from stars to the special team performers, is disappointing. But I am surely here with you in spirit." Congratulations, Al. The next addition to the HH Wall of Fame is a team recognition. The 1973-74 boys basketball team. This team was a special one in that they won the school's first ever Bucksmont championship in basketball. When you're in the gym later this evening, you'll see that accomplishment on the banner along the walls. The coaches of the team were Fran Welsh, Walter Ostrowski, Dave Richards, and Dave Hottenstein. That 1974 team led the Hatters to an overall record of 19 wins and 4 losses, and the league championship. This special season was a culmination of a group of guys who worked hard from their sophomore year on, when the team struggled to make this 1974 season an unforgettable one. In 1974, the team scored over 100 points twice. Think about that. There was no three-point line. This Hatters team went 17-1 in the league and made it to the district playoffs, where they had the opportunity to play at the Palestra. It was a tight-knit team. They were dedicated, committed, motivated, and helped each other get better every single year. It was the perfect recipe for success, which they certainly achieved in 1974. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the 73-74 Hatters boys basketball team. Come on up. Johnny, you want to speak? Look at the plaque.
Well, I'll tell you, this is a little harder than me looking in my bathroom mirror. It's a little bigger out here, so bear with me. But on behalf of the team, we're here that you can celebrate this win for us. Like I said, if we go back 50 years, and it's hard to believe 50 years, I was 17 years old. We set a goal back then to win the championship. These gentlemen here set this goal, and it was the first championship for Hatboro's basketball team. It was one of those things that for a number of years, Hatboro was just a team with a schedule. It was an easy win, mediocre team. We had new coaches come in, and we set the goal that in three years we would win the championship. The first year we went 6-16. The next year we went 16-6. And our very last year we were 19-4. I think when they sent out the letter on this and talked about what did you get out of your sports, or what did you get out of your time here at Hatboro-Horsham, it was me working hard with these gentlemen here, setting a goal and hitting the goal. That's everybody sacrificed it. We never cared about how many points people had, and that was important to us. So I'd like to individually just talk about each individual. You know, first, I'd like to talk about Drew. Tenacity. He fouled out of every game. But Drew played football with me. I was the quarterback. Drew was the split end. We came in after Thanksgiving, put our basketball sneaks on, and we worked together for that year for the basketball team. The next is Meech. I haven't seen Meech in 20 or 25 years, but I was walking down the hallway. He's hard to miss. So I said, "Hey, Meech, it sure helped back then to have somebody 6'7" or 6'8" on your team." But the one thing about it, going that year, we were projected to be the top team. Sometimes it's tough to win when you're projected to be the top team because everybody shoots after you. And it was nice having Meech. He was 6'6" now. He's telling me he's 6'8", so he's grew a couple inches. But he was a big asset, and I really appreciate Meech making the trip up here. He lives down in Memphis, Tennessee. He had a successful. He played basketball for Memphis State after high school, and had a successful time with us. So Meech, thanks for coming up here. Next guy I want to talk about is Dave Tiller. Dave. I have a lot of good things to say about Dave. Very personal friend of mine right now. But with Dave, the one thing with Dave was maybe a good player, but didn't start. He worked hard. He worked as hard during the week as we prepared for our games for the next week. He played the opposition team. He worked really, really hard. And he was sort of like our court jester. He was the clown of the team, I guess, if I say it that way. You know, he would drive the coaches nuts, where he would have little pranks. But you know, we had pressure on us, and we were looking to release it. And I always remember one time before one big game, our routine was we get dressed, and there would be a bench right by the locker room, and we would sit in, and the coach would come in and make a speech. And before the coach came in, Dave walked up to all of us and he said, "Every time he says defense, cross your legs." So the coach comes in, and he's trying to get a psych for the game, and he says, okay, and we play defense, and all of a sudden, 10 guys cross their legs. So, so the coach this is Coach Ostrowski, who was fairly new at the time, so he figured, well, maybe he said something wrong, so he says, defense again, and he crossed his legs, and he just walked away and said, Tiller, and went away. So Dave kept us, besides being a great backup, Dave kept us laughing. Next guy is Bobby Gibbs. Bobby Gibbs was all league, and he was fast, tenacious. He had 45 points one game. He was one of these guys that just, they couldn't catch. He was lightning quick. Next guy is Chris Lesher. Chris is another guy that I played football with. We played football, came back, put our sneaks on. Chris played underneath. He was tenacious. He did the rebounds. Chris would get the rebounds, hit Gibbs, get the meets, we score. Back then there was not a three-point line, but we scored 100 points over 2 games for the whole season. We averaged probably 60 or 70 points a night. Next guy's Billy Morrison. I haven't seen Billy in 50 years. Tonight was the first time I've seen him in 50 years. Billy was our 6th man. Drew would usually draw 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game. We bring Billy in, but Billy did a great job, and he has enormous hands. I mean, that was his nickname, Hand Morrison. And lastly, we got Rich Wolfel. Rich was our manager. Rich, he had to put up with all his nitwits, and he was a manager, took care of us. Back then, 50 years ago, he was doing all videotaping so we could practice in our games and stuff like that and do a better job there. So that's the team. I wanted you to meet them all individually. Yeah. So my claim to fame was I was a good shooter. The downside was we were so old that there wasn't a 3-point line back then, so you only got credit for 2 points back then. But I think we had what was hard when teams tried to play us is that they come in they wanted to double team Meach. They double team Meach. Meach would pass it out to me. I would shoot. They try to double team me. We passed it to Bobby. So we had a really good team. Team was the name. We only cared about winning. We didn't care about how many points somebody had or whatever like that. So it was very important. I want to thank these guys I want to thank these guys for the last couple of days. I'm sorry. I want to thank these guys the last couple of days. We had a good time together. We started this talk when I said I was 17 years old when we first won our championship and that kind of thing. The last couple of days made me feel like I was 17 years old again. We had a good time, just reminiscing. So, thank you.
Great job, buddy. Our next inductee is a member of the class of 2011. Julie Wombold. Now Julie Blank. Now Julie Blank. She comes from a long line of Hatter student athletes named Wambold. I imagine there are many people in this room who were in school at the same time as a Wambold. Well, this Wambold may just be the best pure power hitter that Hatboro-Horsham High School has ever seen. She won 2 state championships her freshman year and her senior year. As a freshman on the 2008 state championship team, she was the designated hitter. That's an honor in itself. Imagine being 14 years old on the biggest stage in high school sports. She was also all-conference as a designated hitter that year. She won the state championship alongside her sister, Katie, also a top-notch all-conference softball player for the Hatters. For the 2011 state championship run, she actually played out of position in the state championship game. She went behind the plate and caught because the starting catcher was injured. During her career, she was a 4-year starter, part of 2 state championships. She was an all-state selection as a sophomore, all-state first team as a senior, multiple-time first team All-Suburban 1, all-league teams. She was the Enquirer All-Southeastern Player of the Year, the Intelligencer Offensive Player of the Year. And in 2020, she was named to the Intelligencer Softball All-Decade Team. Her senior year, and again, if you know anything about baseball or softball, she batted .580 with 26 RBIs and 9 home runs. Julie went on to star and set records at Syracuse University, where she was named the Syracuse Rookie of the Year, was a 4-year starter, an all-ACC team selection, and is still ranked 7th all-time in home runs. Please join me in congratulating Julie Wambold Blank to the Athletic Wall of Fame.
Oh my gosh. I wrote something up. Okay. Hi, everyone. So when Principal Williams reached out to me, my first thought was, oh my God, what did I do 12 years ago that my principal is now contacting me? When I found out I was inducted, I was in disbelief that someone chose me for this honor. I was very lucky to not only be a part of Hatboro-Horsham's softball program, but playing freshman year with my sister Katie, playing senior year with my cousin Heather, and having my Aunt Kathy be one of my coaches. There was 2 questions I asked while playing. How many outs, and are we winning? My mentality was to play the game and just have fun. Thank you to my teachers and coaches for their support, for guiding me along the right path. Thank you to my sisters and family for the endless amount of love and support. Being the baby of 4 girls meant that they could all teach me different skills and strategies on and off the field. Thank you to my parents, Sue and Frank Wambold, from high school to travel ball, ending at Syracuse University. They made every game, even if it was in 15-degree weather. But I'm so honored to have been inducted. Congrats to everyone. And I scribbled everything. I was like jotting down everyone what they were saying, and I was like, ooh, that's good, I'll take that, ooh, that's good. But yeah, thank you so much, and go Hatters.
The next inductee is a class of 2012 graduate, Nicole Beck. Nicole is actually unable to be with us because of some previous commitments. I'll explain that commitment in a few moments. Nicole was a lacrosse standout here at HH. and one of the best in a long line of female lacrosse players that have excelled here at the high school level. She was a 4-year starter who earned all Suburban 1 League honors all 4 years. She was on the national tournament team in 2010 and 2011. She was named the 2012 All-American and was named to the ESPN Rise Girls Lacrosse Watch List. She was an academic All-American in 2011 and 2012. Named the team MVP in 2011 and 2012, and was the team captain in both of those years as well. She was a member of the U.S. Lacrosse National Tournament team in 2010, 2011. After high school, she was also the 2011 Offensive Player of the Year. She scored over 200 goals in high school. She took her talent to the University of California, where she played lacrosse and started as a freshman and sophomore until a career-ending injury stopped her on the field. Nicole graduated from Harvard Medical School last fall and is currently in her residency in Boston as an oral surgeon. So she's unable to be here with us this evening. But here to accept on her behalf and say a few words, her biggest fan, her mom, Jackie Beck.
To say I'm proud is an understatement, but what I want to emphasize in accepting this award is how proud Nicole is to be a graduate and alumni of Hatboro-Horsham High School. She's gone, as Principal Williams has said, she went to Berkeley, she went to Cornell, got her MBA, went to Harvard Medical School, and she's now a surgeon at Mass General. And everything comes back to this institution of greatness. Hatboro-Horsham provided her with the tools needed to rise to the top at every level, and she will never forget that. And she always talks about it, and she always comes back to it, of how great the education was here, the experience, the way the teachers went the extra mile, and she's just so proud of it. She is still best friends with all of the friendships she created at this high school. So on her behalf, I'm gleaming with pride, but I'm also so proud when I talk to other parents and I get to say, my child went to a public school, and she is so proud of that. She never, ever lets it leave her. So thank you, Principal Williams. He was the principal when Nicole was here, and I can tell you our experience was over the top. Coach Swayze, both Coach Swayzes are here. They coached Nicole, mentored her, and that's the whole thing, the relationships that are formed with these coaches, with the teachers, and what it makes them into adults. It's just unbelievable. So thank you, Hatboro-Horsham, and thank you all the coaches. I see Coach Pags out here. These athletes go on and they really, really get it done. I'm so proud that she's a Hatboro-Horsham alumni.
Our next inductee is unable to join us this evening, and I'll tell you another reason why for that as well. Kelsey Colzer, all-around athlete. She did everything. She played softball, she played basketball. Where she made her mark was ice hockey. Because of her success on the ice, many forgot just how good she was at softball. She was a multi-year varsity softball player and played a significant role on that 2011 state championship team. She was all conference as a designated player. She also was a power hitter. She hit her first grand slam as a freshman to wrap up a playoff berth. You heard me mention earlier when Julie was up here that Julie played out of position in the state championship game and had to go behind the plate and catch because the catcher was injured. That catcher was Kelsey. But above all else, Kelsey will tell you, she was an ice hockey player. She played co-ed ice hockey here at HH because we didn't have a girls' team. Most high schools don't. She helped the team win the 2011 Suburban High School Hockey League Conference Championship, where she scored. She then found a league in New Jersey where she played for the New Jersey Rockets, one of the most successful hockey organizations in the New York metro area. And she dominated. During the 2011-2012 season, she scored 46 goals in 51 games. What she did on the ice in high school propelled her and allowed her to have an even greater impact off the ice. As you may have seen in the slideshow, you may have seen her on TV, from Good Morning America to ESPN to CBS News to Newsweek. Kelsey is the first black female head coach in the NCAA as the coach of Arcadia University. She is the first black female She is the first black female selected as the #1 overall pick in the National Women's Hockey League. She took her talents from here on Horsham Road to Princeton University. At Princeton University, she was an all-league player. She was the Ivy League Player of the Year. She serves on the NHL Female Hockey Advisory Committee. She currently continues to change the face of the game. She's been a feature story, as I mentioned, in every major print and television news media. She's unable to be with us this evening because she has a game. And when I talked to her, she said, it wouldn't be right for me to leave my team. I respect that and I appreciate that. But I am happy, however, her biggest fan, always, through and through, and I remember I met them before school even started her freshman year. Her biggest fan is here to present and accept on her behalf her mom, Christine Colzer. Please join me in welcoming Kelsey Colzer into the Athletic Wall of Fame.
How you doing? Thank you. Well, as Dr. Williams said, you held this banquet during hockey season. So Kelsey's not here. She's getting ready to take her team onto the ice, being the head coach at Arcadia University. But she is definitely honored to be inducted into this Wall of Fame, and so proud that she started her career at Hatboro-Horsham, and all this success here translated into her success playing Division I hockey at Princeton, playing professionally, and now coaching 18, 19, 20-year-old girls in their college years. So she's very happy, and we do appreciate this induction. Thanks.
Our next induction is a team induction as well. Like women's hockey, women's golf was not necessarily a common thing in high school sports until recently. Our former highly decorated wrestling coach, Glenn Kaiser, became our girls' golf coach in 2000, and in 2012 was the architect of the first ever varsity all-female golf team at HH. The team joined the Pioneer Athletic Conference because there were very few, if any, girls' varsity golf programs at the high school level in this area. In the beginning, the team struggled because they were young. However, in a 2-year span, the team exceeded all expectations and made the program and the school extremely proud. From 2014 to 2015, here are some of the fantastic accomplishments from members of that team. They were the two-time Pioneer Athletic Conference champions, two-time District 1 runner-up at the PA State Golf Championships. They took 6th place at the state championships in 2014, 5th place in 2015. Two players from that team, Cassidy Gavigan and Hannah Fireman, went on to have excellent careers playing golf in college. Cassidy was a two-time captain at Monmouth, where she saw action in tournaments all 4 years, including a low-round career score of 76 in her senior year. At Gettysburg College, Hannah was the Rookie of the Year, a 3-time conference qualifier, and was named first team All-Continental Conference 3 times in her career. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Coach Glenn Kaiser, his assistant coaches, and the 2014-2015 Hatters girls golf team.
Well, I could probably talk about this group all night long, but I'm not going to do that. I think one of the proudest moments as a coach in my life was forming this girls' golf team here at Hatboro-Horsham. I wanted to thank the HH administration and the school board at the time, and especially Lou James for making it happen. We had support from the community. I wanted to thank Talmore Country Club and Old York Road Country Club at the time as well to give us the opportunity. Being a head golf coach is pretty easy. You drive the van and you set the lineup. It's very easy. Except the smell on the way back in the van with the socks. All right. I was a wrestling coach first, and coaching girls was different. But this is all about talent, individual talent. We had a tremendous group of girls and coaches here. Mike Fireman and John Hartmeyer. John Hartmeyer also helped me put this team together and put this sport on the books here at Hatboro-Horsham. With us tonight we have Hannah Fireman, Cassidy Gavin, Cameron Fisher, Katie Hartmeyer, Julia Lyon, and Natalie Jadwin. Haley Phillips cannot join us tonight, nor can Laura Marvin or my daughter Bianca Kaiser. Just wanted to talk quickly on some of the things that Dennis said. We had a combined 31-5 record in 2 years overall, and 25-3 in the league. Pretty impressive. Additionally, we have some individual accomplishments that the captains took on to the collegiate level. As you heard, Hannah Fireman, she was a 2-time first team All-Pac All-League here. She was 6th in the pack in 2015. She was 18th in the District 1 championships. She was the Springford champion in 2015. Cassidy in high school was a 2-time first team All-League. She was 3rd in the pack, 9th in District 1 championships. She was a Lady Hatter runner-up and won a college Division I tournament captaining the Monmouth team. Hannah also competed in the Maccabee Games this past year, representing the United States. Additionally, Cameron Fisher was an honorable mention All-League, and Haley Phillips was a 2-time second-team All-League member as well. So congratulations, girls, on a great career here at Hatboro-Horsham.
Oh yeah, I'll say something. Sorry, yeah. Thank you, everyone, obviously, for coming out tonight. Obviously, I loved my experience at Hatboro-Horsham, and this is where a lot of the root of the fun golf for me came from. Once I got to college golf, it became a lot more serious. So I thank my my high school teammates and my coach and all the experiences I had in that van and on the golf course, traveling to various matches for my will to continue in college, because it definitely was a lot more lighthearted in high school. But all my experiences and my relationships here have remained strong, and I'm always proud to say that I went to Hatboro-Horsham, and I'm happy to see all my teammates here tonight, and congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I just want to say thank you to Coach Kaiser for putting this team together. I started golf, I guess, back in middle school technically, and I played as a freshman here on the men's team, which was fun, but obviously I was looking for some girls, and the camaraderie was awesome. As soon as I hit sophomore year, we got a lot of traction for the women's team, and we couldn't have done that without Kaiser, so thank you. And going into the Pac-10, we really had to break in and maybe travel a little further than we would have liked to for matches, but I think it was worth it, and yeah, great friendships, great competition, and thank you all for coming.
Our next inductee. The name Swayze and athletics should really be synonymous. Mom and dad are in their college's Hall of Fames for athletics, while Duncan Swayze and Taylor Swayze were inducted into this Hall of Fame in 2011 and 2013, respectively. Now we have the last Swayze, the baby of the bunch, Casey, a class of 2015 graduate. She's being recognized here this evening. A true high school athlete. Casey was special. She was a 4-year starter in both field hockey and lacrosse, where she was an All-American in both sports. The accolades are a lot to read, so let me just summarize the accomplishments. In lacrosse, she was a 4-year starter who helped lead the team to 3 undefeated league championships. She was an academic All-American. She was named to the Under Armour All-American Underclass Tournament team in 2013. She was named the 7th Congressional District Scholar Athlete and was a 2015 Suburban 1 League Scholar Athlete of the Year. In field hockey, she was a 4-year starter, served as the team captain. She helped lead the team to a state playoff appearance, 3 district playoff appearances. She was a 2-time All-Suburban 1 League Selection First Team, 2-time All-Intelligencer First Team, was the team MVP, a 2nd-team All-State recognition as a junior, 1st-team All-State as a senior. She was an academic All-American, and she was selected to the Intelligencer All-Decade team. She went on to Princeton University, where she played all 4 years and continued to make us proud, being selected to the National Field Hockey Coaches Association Division I All-Academic Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming class of 2015 graduate and newest Wall of Fame Swayze, Casey Swayze.
Okay. So I had a really long speech, but we're going to cut this shorter. I like to get really sentimental and go into it, but I'm not going to go there. But thank you so much for this great honor in being inducted into the HH's Athletic Wall of Fame. And thanks to those who had made this possible. And congrats to everyone else who has been inducted as well. It's so great to see your faces too. It's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in forever. This is incredible. And thank you to my family and to those that are here that have made me who I am today. To my brother and sister specifically, Duncan and Taylor Swayze, they have been incredible role models throughout my entire life. Both of them attended HH and went to play at the collegiate level, and their accomplishments have also been recognized by HH as well. And while I've seen them in action in the dedication in their athletics and academics, I realized, you know, without a doubt, I want to follow suit. And the 8- and 9-year gap between myself and them, and growing up and attending most of their games, either on my parents' hips as they're running up and down the field, coaching my brother and sister, to going to all of their collegiate games has been very fun and a long road and a long ride. And I also realized I wanted to do that as well. So besides seeing them in action, they've always been my biggest supporters as well. And they're 2 of my best friends who I can still call up at any moment and ask any and all of life's questions. And to my coaches, both my assistant coaches for field hockey and lacrosse, and also my parents, which is kind of an interesting one because it's a little bit unique in that both of my parents were my coaches. My mom was my field hockey coach for all 4 years, so I was with her in the fall, and then my dad was my lacrosse coach, so he was my coach in the springtime. So I would just go from the fall with my mom to my dad in the spring. And whenever I tell people that, they're like, they're what? Both of them? How's that dynamic? Do they not drive you crazy? Like, what is that situation? And they've coached me ever since I was 5 years old in all different types of sports. So it felt pretty natural by the time I came up to the high school and was coached by them. And while they were great coaches that could teach you the technical and tactical skills of the sport they coached, they were also great life coaches. My mom and dad aren't the type of coaches to yell. They're the type that will coach and prep you as much as they can beforehand. Then once you're on the field, they trust you'll know what you're doing. And that doesn't mean that they won't give you constructive criticism along the way. What it does mean is that they put deep trust in their players, and they will know how to perform when they are on the field. My dad is known to basically speak like a wise owl in metaphors and riddles that a lot of girls on my team have still quoted to this day. And one of my favorite things that he would bring up often is, stop running through the motions. Your brain is on autopilot. You're getting a little lazy. You need to train like you're in the game, or even harder, so that when you're out there performing, it makes it feel easier than the practice that you had done before. And just work 1% harder than your opponents, because that 1% can make all the difference in the outcome of a game. My mom is known for her endless upbeat energy and grittiness and positivity. She has taught me that attitude is everything, and it is something that is still up in our kitchen. Attitude is everything, and I brought that through my entire life. And you can learn something from everyone. And in the face of adversity, just dig deeper. If a teammate, friend, anyone needs help, help them and show them how special their light is. They're also just genuine connectors who, of course, love to win, as all coaches and people do, but they also understand that there's an education that comes with the athletics and the lessons that you learn within life. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for your endless support and wisdom that I've carried through with me to this day. And thank you so much to HH Athletics. Even apart from playing field hockey and lacrosse, I remember gym class where we had to, hold on one second, I lost my place. In gym class as a freshman, we had fitness tests, or we just in general had fitness tests and preparation for those. And there was a certain period of time where everyone was, I think, in a circle, doing push-ups, and the gym teacher could only see every so number of people. And I remember them saying, if I'm not looking at you and you stop, you're only hurting yourself. This isn't just about how many push-ups you can do for the test. It's about integrity and the work leading up to them and doing that preparation to take care of your body. This is not for me. So that has stuck with me to this day, and that you're doing the work and you need to be in the moment and to have that integrity. Playing sports at HH has taught me an incredible amount about perseverance, determination, friendship, discipline, hard work, teamwork, collaboration, and really just anything that you can use without any point within your life. And the lessons I've learned have served me in every aspect of my life thus far and molded me into who I am today and will stay with me for a lifetime. I'm grateful for the opportunities that HH Athletics and academics have afforded me, and thank you again for this great honor, and again, congrats to those that have been inducted as well.
Our last inductee this evening, who also is not able to be with us, and I'll share with you that as well. These are some unbelievable young men and women that we're working with right now. Our final inductee is Michael Thomas, class of 2015. And a very long line of amazing Hatboro-Horsham swimmers. Michael may just be one of the most prolific. Michael began HH swimming history as a freshman in high school and continued to rewrite parts of the record book through his senior year. Bill Keene, local sports writer many of you may know, for the Intelligencer, called Michael Thomas a torpedo with legs. That statement sums up Michael's high school reputation, and here's why. He was a District 1 champion in the backstroke 3 times. He was the 200 IM District 1 champion twice. He also won the PIAA state championship in the 100 backstroke as a junior and again as a senior. He also won the state championship in junior and senior year in his other specialty event, the 200 IM. He received multiple first-team All-Intelligencer recognition, multiple first-team All-Suburban 1 League recognition, multiple first-team All-State. He was the Intelligencer Boys Swimmer of the Year in his junior and senior year. That has never been done. In March of his junior year, he swam the 100-yard backstroke time that broke the national age group record. The record that he broke, Olympian Ryan Murphy's record. Michael was a member of the U.S. junior national team. He finished his career at HH ranked as the 6th ranked swim recruit in the country. He took his talents and skills to the University of California, where he helped the team win the 2019 national championship, while also being named an All-American in 3 events. He holds 2 top 10 records at the University of California. Michael is unable to join us this evening. He lives in California. Michael's a firefighter in California. Here to accept on his behalf and say a few words is Coach Kip Emick.
Thank you again. Michael Thomas, to me as a coach, taught me a lot of lessons. He was one of the most dedicated people I've ever coached. Michael would ask me on Sunday mornings, can I come to practice? Can you open the pool for me? Can I come in and work on my first lap of my backstroke? I want to make sure I know exactly where I'm at. That's the kind of kid he was. And then he'd come in another Sunday, I want to work on my first and second lap. And then every next Sunday, the first, second, and third lap. And he's like, I think I'm ready now. And in 2014, when he broke Ryan Murphy's national record, he did everything exactly the way he did in practice. We actually knew where he was going to be after the first 25 because that's how much practice he put into it. He taught me as a coach that to never give up and to just work hard and outwork everyone. This young man was just a true inspiration to me, the other coaches, the teammates around him, and just, again, another great hatter. He was a great person. I talked to Mike tonight. He expressed his thanks to everyone here. He said, please thank my mother and father for all the dedication and time that they put into this. And he said, being the young fireman in San Mateo County, California, he was not able to be here. He couldn't get time off. But he did want to say thank you to everyone, and he appreciates this greatly. Thanks.
This evening, we had the opportunity to recognize almost 4 decades of athletic prowess. Student athletes who made decisions to put time and energy into sports that brought their high school great pride, and coaches who dedicated countless hours shaping and molding young men and women to perform at levels that maybe they didn't believe was possible. When those things work in concert, they become the perfect ingredients for team championships, local, regional, statewide, and even national recognition. Everyone recognized here this evening was blessed with God-given talent and ability. However, it's the hard work, it's the dedication, and the commitment that has landed them in the Wall of Fame this evening. Hard work is better than talent, and talent doesn't work hard. As the building principal, a proud graduate of this fine high school and its athletic programs, I want to personally thank you. Thank you all for your efforts, the way that you have shaped our programs during your tenure, the legacy that you have created. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for all of tonight's inductees. I'd like to make just a few important announcements regarding the logistics for the balance of our evening. We have a little bit of time, about 10 minutes. So I'd ask that you please, if you want to take pictures with honorees and so on and so forth, we do have some picture areas here for you. Then if you don't mind, I'm going to collect your plaques back. Okay? Tonight's basketball game, which will also be, it's going on right now. Tonight's basketball game at halftime, we are going to recognize publicly all of the inductees again. We're going to bring them out on the court, give them their plaques back to the entire crowd. You'll be introduced in the same order as this video. Okay, so we'll do everything by year of graduation. Once that is over, you are absolutely free to stay for the remainder of the game. If not, you're absolutely free to leave. Go enjoy this time. We understand, we recognize that this is a great time to bring people together, and some of you haven't seen each other for years. So we thank you for being here. We thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you at future Hatboro-Horsham events. Thank you.